Bu Dian Letepati, Bu Nurul as the primary examiner, Pak Zulhanan as the first co-examiner, and Mr. Agus as the second co-examiner. Let's open this seminar by saying Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
For Patrio Bowo, I give you 5 minutes to present your skripsi or your proposal. Just mention the background and then methodology. Yeah.
Okay.
Time is yours.
Okay, sir. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Mr. Iwan Kurniawan, MPD, as the moderator of the seminar proposal, the Honorable Ms. Dian Rektiawati, MPD, as the secretary of the seminar proposal, the Honorable Ms. Nurul Puspita, MPD, as the first examiner of the seminar proposal, the Honorable Mr. Dr. Zulhanan, MA, as the second examiner of the seminar proposal, and then the Honorable Mr. Agus Hidayat, MPD, as the co-advisor of this seminar proposal. Let me introduce myself. My name is Patrio Bowo with student number 1811041001 and 17. I want to present about my proposal entitled The Influence of Using Pair Work Towards Students' Ability in Writing Narrative Text. Okay, and then let's get started into the first point. It is about the background of the problem. English is one of the international language that is needed to be learned in Indonesia itself. The Ministry of Education have determined that English will be a subject in teaching learning process. And then there are also 4 skills in English. It is listening, speaking, reading, and also writing, and also 2 English components. It is vocabulary and grammar that is needed to be mastered by the students. Previously, I have did my preliminary research at SMA Negeri 3 Bandar Lampung, and based on the preliminary research, I found some of problems in students' writing skills. So in this opportunity, I want to take a research about writing because of that problem. The next is about formulation of the problem. There is 2 formulation. The first is there any influence of using pair work towards students' ability in writing narrative text? And then the second one is the average score of students' abilities in writing narrative text, which is taught by pair work, is higher than the students which is taught by conventional technique? And then for the objective of the research, it is to find out about the influence of using pair work towards students' ability in writing narrative text. And also the second one is to find out whether the average score of students' ability in writing narrative text, which is taught by pair work, is higher than the students which is taught by conventional technique or not. And then maybe I will skip this part. And then for the hypothesis, HA will be accepted if there's any influence of using pair work towards students' ability in writing narrative text. And then HO will be accepted or HA will be rejected if there is no influence of using pair work towards students' ability in writing narrative text. And then for the research design, in this research, I used quantitative approach with quasi-experimental design. An experimental research is used to investigate the causal link between the variables. And then I took 2 classes. The first classes will be an experimental class, and it will be used pair work technique. And then the second class as the control class, and it will use translation technique. I also will use pre-test and also post-test for both classes. And for both classes, it will give the same treatment. And then for the population, sample, and sampling technique, the population in this research is all of the grade 12 students at SMA Negeri 3 Bandar Lampung in academic year 2021 and 2022. The population consists of 377 students that divided into 11 classes. And then the sample of this research is 12 science 1 as the experimental class, and then 12 science 3 as the control class. And then for the sampling technique, I determine cluster random sampling. And then for the data analysis, I use 3 tests. The first one is normality test. It is to know whether the data has a normal distribution or not. And then the second one is homogeneity test. It is to know whether the variance of both data is homogeneous or not. And then the third is independent sample t-test. It is to determine whether pair work is suitable to use or pair work is better than the conventional technique or not. It is to compare between two variables. Okay, I think that's all of my explanation about my proposal. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, please close your share screen, Patrio Wibowo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Patrio, what kind of research is it? Patrio, your proposal?
Yes, sir.
What kind of research is it, your proposal?
Quasi-experimental research, sir.
Experimental research. What is experimental research?
Experimental research is used to know whether the causal links between the variables.
Variable. Are there how many variables here in your title?
For the variable, there is 2 variables in my research. It is independent variable and also dependent variable. For the independent variable is the variable that will give an effect to the dependent variable. It is a pair work for the independent variable. And then for the dependent variable, it is a variable that got an effect from independent variable. And the dependent variable is students' writing skill.
Skill or ability? Here in the title,
students' ability in writing skills.
Okay. Okay, you use pair work, yeah, pair work. Yes, can you explain to me what pair work is look like? Pair work is one of the classroom engagement in which that students that allowed to working with their pairs. I mean, they have to work with their partner. I mean, they will making a couple, and then they did together. It is to help them in writing and also to check the answer about whether it is true or not. So yeah, of course, pair must be partner, right? There must be partner in pair. Yeah. Yes. I mean the activity. Can you tell me more about the activity that is done by pair? Okay. And then for the activity, actually pair work in my research will be applied in the post-test. And then for the post-test, I will give them essay questions, and they will ask to write about narrative text, and I will provide some of topics, and then I will determine whether I will make a partner for them. I mean, I will creating a partner. I will choose them a partner, and then I will ask them to do about my essay. Sorry, about that essay. Okay. Okay, thank you. The next chance is given to Bu Nurul as the primary examiner. Bu Nurul, time is yours.
All right, thank you, Pak Egi, as the moderator for the chance. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Patrio, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, Miss.
All right. So you will use the pair work. Is it a technique?
Yes, it is a technique, Miss.
All right. So is it a technique for teaching writing?
Oh, yes, Miss.
Yeah. Whose theory who said that a pair work is appropriate for teaching writing? Patrio.
Okay, well, for the theory, I took a theory from James Greenfer that pair work is a technique in teaching where the students work with one another. And then James also state that there is also two kind of pair work. The first one is the fixed pair, and then the second one is flexible pair. Fixed pair is they are working with the same partner. I mean, if there is any assignment more and they will apply and the teacher will apply it about pair work, they will still working with the same partner. But if flexible pair, it is switching or changing. Means the partner is switching.
All right. Do you mean the working here is the students' activities in creating any writing? Do you mean like?
I think this theory is suitable for speaking and also writing, Miss.
All right. So this technique is suitable also for speaking.
Yes, Miss. Because previously there are some of researcher that took about pair work and they applied it on speaking, Miss.
All right. So I'm still wondering when the word working here are only focused on the students' activities in writing, because I don't know how the teamwork itself do their work is on the stage of writing. Can you explain us actually, Patrio, how they work in their team? That you mean they work in team and how they will do any activities related to writing, because your focus is on the students' writing ability, right?
Okay, Miss. But actually, at first, I will offer to them whether they want to choose their partner or I will be choosing the partner. And then if they have find their partner, and then I will ask them to write about narrative text and then how to pair work is working in this section is that the students need to coordinating. I mean, this is actually individual test, but they can discuss it with their partner. I mean, why this technique can applied in writing skills, because it might be very helpful for them, because sometimes the students find difficulties in finding any ideas or choosing the vocabulary or determining the grammar. And then with a pair work, it is expected that the students will easily in choosing in solving the problem, because their partner might can help them to finish their writings.
Hello, Patrio.
Yes,
Can you
miss.
hear my Can you hear
Uh,
my voice?
yes, I can, miss.
All right. So something happened to me or with you? I don't know. Actually, tadi yang saya apa kamu ya? Siapa ya?
Yeah.
All right. As we know that writing is a very complex activity, right? So in teaching writings, we know that we should choose appropriate technique so that the students in their process of writing should be best on every stage from planning until revising. Then I don't know, when you said also that actually this is an individual activity. Yeah, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, say that it is an individual activity because the
Yes.
name of the but actually the name of this technique is pair work. Yeah. So the important one or the emphasized one is the activities in the pair itself. So my suggestions for you, besides use Jim's Scriver, yeah,
Yeah,
Jim
miss. Yes, miss.
James, you should find the others theory who say that, yeah, that's really this pair work technique can be used for teaching writing. And then every single procedures of it can reflect of the process of writing, how they discuss with the peer on getting any ideas or in elaborating the ideas from the outlining or the planning until at the end of the process of writing itself. Because what you have explained to me before actually very different with what you have written down at your proposal. I did not find any, descriptions like what you have explained to me at this Zoom. Kayaknya beda ya yang kamu jelasin sama yang ada di sini. So I just make sure whether the procedures of peer work is really appropriate for learning writing for the students. So yes, it's just my suggestion. You should find the other story related to peer work, since these techniques also can be implemented for teaching speaking. I think when the teaching speaking, yeah, it's really appropriate when they talk with their peer or discuss about the topics related to the topic of it, then they can, express their idea. But in writing, there are many stages that should be fulfilled by the students so that they can produce any writing or creating any writing. So you should remind about it. Yeah, Patrio, related to the procedures of the peer work itself. As we know that you would like to do like quantitative research, that the point is on the treatment later on. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell us actually what is actually the biggest problem faced by the students in the schools?
Okay. Based on my preliminary research at SMA Negeri 3 Bandar Lampung, and then I have did some of interview for the teacher and also the students, some of the students, and then their answer is still the same. The teacher said that the students find any difficulties in choosing vocabulary, and then the students is also difficult to determine the grammar, and then they have difficulties in organizing their idea. And then the last one is they have a low motivation in learning English.
All right, so they are the problem faced by the students. And I think the biggest problems related to the writing is only in organizing their idea. And did you think that this peer work can help the students in organizing the idea, Patrio?
Menyusun, Miss, kayak it is too hard to arranging the idea start from the first paragraph until the last paragraph.
All right, and do you think that the peer work in discussions through the peer work activities can help the students in arranging the idea itself? Do you think like that?
Yes, Miss, because sometimes I feel like in my organizing idea, I feel like any difficulties, if I found any difficulties, and then I try to look up whether I try to ask my friend, is it organized well for my text? And then my friends is also suggesting me it should be the first paragraph and it should be the last paragraph. You shouldn't put this on your text like that, Miss.
I think it's so easy in organizing an idea when we know what types of the text that we are going to write. For example, narrative text, we should know first about the generic structures of it. Then when after we read about the generic structure itself, then we would like to know the organizations of the text. It is different when they need to talk about with their peer or their team in finding the idea. I think what you have explained to me before is yeah, it's difficult for finding idea, not in organizing an idea. Just make sure, Patrio, because it's very important also how to organize an idea with how to find an idea. Then I think this peer work related to appropriate to help the students in finding any ideas. Like yes, you have given the topic for them and how how to start right and find any thesis statement or the main idea that to be discussed in the text itself rather than in organize the idea. So I just want to make sure whether this technique is really appropriate or not with the students on solving their problems, like that problem that has been faced by the students at that school. So just rethink about it. All right. So on what settings actually your research later on, offline settings or online settings?
Sorry, Miss, I cannot get your point, Miss.
On what settings actually you pledge your research later on, offline or online?
Actually, I want to do my research offline, but I don't know, maybe it is starting PPKM again, and then the school was closed, and then I still waiting for offline time. Where's the time to start offline again? And if there's too much time to offline again, I will try to do my research on online.
All right. So just make sure with the planning, make sure that your research later on is on online or offline, because it influence related to the lesson plan that you have made, related to the time allocations, and also any platforms that can support you. I think in online setting, it will be very difficult for the students to do like a teamwork or peer work, because I believe that they will concern to the others, types of apa ya, yang akan dicari pasti akan lebih susah dan beda. Mereka fokusnya, concernnya pasti nggak akan di activity itu, karena buka apa gitu. Misalkan kamu pakai LMS atau pakai Zoom meeting, it's so difficult for them actually. So just make sure that this teamwork, peer work technique can be implemented both in offline and also online setting with considers to the procedures that you will be used later on. Jadi kaitannya nanti di prosedur lagi, pakainya nanti offline atau online. Well, I've showed your instrument of the research. You have made your writing test, right? But
Yes,
I did not see related to the things how that can help you to validate these instruments. Can you tell us related to it?
Okay, Miss. Actually, at first, I will use validity and reliability test. But for me, I think that I will use readability test, Miss, for the validating of instrument.
Trio, have you explained about the readability test at your research or at your proposal actually?
Not yet, Miss.
Kenapa belum sekalian ditaruh di situ?
Because I think that at first sebenarnya waktu awalnya udah ditaruh, Miss, tapi revisi, dan it should be to put it after I did my research, Miss.
You did your research after you did your research?
Sorry, after I finish. Sorry, setelah saya penelitian gitu, Miss.
Setelah penelitian, yakin?
Iya, Miss.
Yakin setelah penelitian. Buat apa kalau ditaruhnya setelah penelitian?
Sorry, Miss. Sebelumnya udah ada, Miss, tapi direvisi gitu.
Iya, tahu. Terus taruhnya nanti setelah penelitian tapinya?
Yes, Miss. With
nanti aja setelah penelitian taruhnya di sini gitu maksudnya. Gitu ya, Patrio.
yes,
But you know that, yeah, you know
I think
that
it should be before my research, Miss.
Research or sempro?
Yeah, before sempro, because the instrument will be research, Miss. Sorry, research, Miss.
Iya sih, Patrio, kamu bingung sendiri loh.
Maksudnya seharusnya itu sebenarnya menurut saya, kalau menurut saya sebenarnya sebelum penelitian, Miss, karena kan instrumennya mesti divalidasi dulu.
Ya itu emang yang benar kayak gitu. All right. I think you have to reconsider related to it before you, Sempro, I think you need to, what is it, put any theories. It's okay. It's just a theory about the readability of the text because we would like to know your preparations or your readiness related to what will you do later on in validating this instrument. It doesn't matter, but the important one is that you cannot, what is it, conduct this test before you on your seminar proposal, something like that. So after you get many suggestions or input after conducting this sample, then you can validate the instrument, something like that. You get my point, Patrio?
Yes, Miss.
Yeah, because a seminar proposal is the things that we would like to know related to your understanding what related to what you want to do at your research. So every single theories that is belong to yours, I mean your research, it should be ready at the proposal. And yeah, we would like to know how you will conduct your validations later on related to the instrument itself by conducting readability of the test after the SEMPRO. Ya, ada bayangannya belum gimana? Sebenarnya
sudah ada Miss, sebenarnya dari awal garap pun sudah ada bayangan Miss untuk readability itu. I will give some of questions for the students who will did the who will melakukan penelitian itu yang akan dijadikan subjek. Saya akan memberikan sejenis kuesioner gitu, Miss.
Okay, can you mention one of the statement or the questions related to this task?
Okay, one of the question it might be consist of is the instructions of the test is clearly enough to comprehend.
All right. Can you give us the examples of the clear instructions on writing tests?
I think the clear instructions for the writing test, it should be with a vocabulary level, with the lowest vocabulary level, because sometimes they feel so hard in comprehending the instruction because sometimes they didn't know about the vocabulary. And then the directions also have to creating in order. I mean, start from they have to make the pairs, and then start from what kind of topic that is divided by the researcher, and then how was the compositions of its text.
All right, just mention the instruction, Patrio.
Okay, for the directions, the first one is make a pair with one of your classmates. And then the second one is, this is an individual test, but you may discuss it with your partner. And then the third, create a narrative text by choosing one of the topics below. The topics is for the post-test. I provided myth, mysteries, horror stories, and also legends. And then fourth, your composition has at least 100 words with the correct form of narrative text. It should be consist of orientation, complication, resolution, and also coda. And then the fifth is, you may open your dictionary. And then the last one is, write your text in the answer sheet.
All right, that's your instructions. And do you think that is readable for the students for at that level? It's just your logic thinking about it, not based on the result of the readability test later on.
Okay, based on my logical thing, it is very easy to comprehend because it is kind of lowest level of vocabulary.
All right.
The vocabulary is easy to understand.
Easy ya. Kelas berapa ini tadi, Patrio?
Kelas 12, Miss.
Kelas 12. Boleh ya penelitian di kelas 12?
Boleh kok, Miss.
Oh, boleh. You have to make sure whether you are permit or not in conducting a research for 12 students ya. Biasanya kayak kelas 9, kelas 12 gitu kan. Kelas 12 itu kelas 3 SMA kan?
Yes, Miss.
Yeah. So just make sure. Boleh apa enggak, karena mungkin mengganggu apa mereka udah fokus mau ke US atau gimana gitu kan ya. Ini kan
Yeah.
lagi US ya. Kelas 3 loh. Udah mau US loh. Lulus
Previously,
nanti.
I have asked for their teacher, and the teacher is said that, yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Boleh ya gurunya
Boleh,
ya.
Miss.
Padahal ya udah, berarti nanti kalau benar-benar treatment ya, do your best yang bisa membantu mereka, ya kan? So, how many times you plans in conducting a treatment?
Sorry,
How
Miss.
many times you based on your planning?
Based on my planning, I will conducting my research maybe for 3 weeks, because there is also experiment and also control class. I have to get insight for those 2 classroom, and there is also pre-test. For the first week, I will did my pre-test. For the second week, I will teach them about narrative test, and then the third week, I will give the post test, Miss.
3 minggu dibagi-bagi segitu banyaknya ya. Jadi
Iya.
treatmentnya berapa? Minggu kedua aja kan?
Iya, Miss. Soalnya kalau misalkan di dalam 1 hari pretest dan post testnya itu takut nggak cukup, Miss, waktunya.
Patrio, seminggu itu berarti kamu berapa kali?
Seminggu 2 kali, Miss.
Berarti nanti cuma 2 kali aja treatmentnya?
Iya, Miss.
Alright, so just make sure whether it is really appropriate or not with the situation that you only plan about 2 times in doing any treatments, ya. Saya rasa juga itu jadi bahan pertimbangan lagi. Mungkin kalau waktunya mepet lebih baik pindah kelas ya. Kasihan juga kalau dia udah persiapkan ke US, ya kan. Jadi kalau mungkin cuma 2 kali itu beneran bisa influence nggak mereka dapat ilmunya dari teamwork, itu nggak bisa solve their problems in organizing their writing or not. So just make sure about it. Well, I think it's the end of my questions. I'll give it back to the moderator, Pak Iwan, and directly go to Ustadz Zulhanan. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Thanks so much to the chairperson, Mr. Iwan. So, enable all the team of this proposal seminar. In this a good opportunity, I would like to express the 3 contribution maybe. There are 3 dimensions that must be written on the background of the problem. Namely, the first is brief description of the substance of the problem is supported by the field data. So the second, grand theory according to the title of your thesis. So the third is academic argumentations are supported by the relevant previous research.
Okay.
So the second contribution, because this is a proposal, so you have to write the new finding research design.
Okay, sir.
Derived from the theoretical framework. Because this is a proposal, so you have to write the new finding research design derived from the theoretical framework. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that's so. Time back to the chairperson. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
Maybe can continue to Mr. Agus.
Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, Patrio. Patrio.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, you have received a lot of suggestions, important suggestions, especially from Ms. Nurul and Mr. Zulhanan. And I would like also remind you, yeah, this is really important about the procedure of the technique of the strategy. Pay attention to the strategy. Yeah. Pay attention to the setting, because online and offline settings are really different. The settings are really different. One, you will face the students directly, so it is easier because the original technique is prepared for direct contact with students, right? But if the setting is online, you have to modify. It means that you have to modify the steps, the procedure,
Okay.
without losing the original essence of the technique. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
please pay attention to that and then modify if it is necessary. And then, yeah, suggestion from Ms. Nurul, yeah, about the what is it? The grade. Yeah, you have to make sure that this time, yeah, because the exam. So if they can if you cannot, what is it, conduct your research at that grade, you have to think again, yeah? Find another grade, find another topic to be researched about. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, please revise according to Ms. Nurul's suggestion. That's they are really good suggestions actually. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Wassalamualaikum
thank you,
warahmatullahi
sir.
wabarakatuh.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mr. Iwan. Halo. Mr. Iwan. Oke, tunggu sebentar.
Sorry, Miss and Mr. Because Mr. Iwan is on another call.
Saya izin duluan ya, Pak Trio. Saya ada rapat
Iya, iya,
kebetulan
Mister.
sekarang.
Nanti saya
Okay,
sampaikan.
Mister. Thank you,
Mister Agus.
Mister.
Iya.
Thank you.
Iya. Oke, Patrio nanti sampaikan ke Mister Iwan ya. Saya sudah WhatsApp juga Mister Iwan, tapi belum di-read. Nanti Patrio juga jelaskan kalau semua tim tadi sudah melaksanakan tugasnya untuk menguji Patrio dan sudah selesai.
Oke,
Tadi
Miss.
nunggu Mister Iwan tapi belum datang untuk menutup ujiannya. Seperti itu ya. Oke.
Oke, Miss.
Jadi gitu, Mbak, biar Patrio aja yang nunggu gitu ya?
Iya sih, kalau nggak Patrio nanti yang konfirmasi. Saya udah konfirmasi ke Mister Iwan, WhatsApp Japri, di telepon juga nggak diangkat.
Ya, karena Mister masih nelpon, Miss.
Apa kuliah ya Pak Iwan?
Gimana?
Kuliah apa?
Bisa jadi. Aku juga gitu. Ya udah nggak apa-apa, nanti yang penting aku udah ini juga kok, udah Japri ke Pak Iwannya, tapi belum dibalas. Jadi nanti Patrio juga coba jelasin ke Pak Iwannya. Kita live aja nggak apa-apa, Miss Nurul.
Oke, Miss.
Gimana sih?
Oh, ini Pak Iwan datang.
Gimana Pak? Pak anunya hilang Pak siapa? Pak Zulhanan.
Sudah selesai, Mister.
Oh, udah
Tadi
beres.
izin, tadi izin pada live duluan.
Oke, ya, iyalah. Yalah gitu ya Pak Patrio Bowo ya sebenarnya ya, dapat masukan dari Rombon Nurul, and then you have to revise some part of your proposal ya.
Oke, Mister.
Okay, I think this all our seminar today in the name of Patrio Bowo, and thank you for the team, and let me close this seminar by saying Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mister.
thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, the team. Thank you.